Blind is the man crying out and saying, Son of David, have mercy on me. Luke chapter 18, verse 38. He prays with the body alone, and not yet with spiritual knowledge. When the man once blind received his sight and saw the Lord, he acknowledged him no longer as Son of David, but as Son of God, and worshipped him. John chapter 9, verse 38. Do not grow conceited if you shed tears when you pray, for it is Christ who has touched your eyes and given you spiritual sight. He who, like the blind man, casts away his garment and draws near to the Lord, becomes his disciple and a preacher of true doctrine. Mark chapter 10, verse 50. To brood on evil makes the heart brazen, but to destroy evil through self-restraint and hope breaks the heart. There is a breaking of the heart which is gentle and makes it deeply penitent, and there is a breaking which is violent and harmful, shattering it completely. Vigils, prayer, and patient acceptance of what comes constitute a breaking that does not harm but benefits the heart, provided we do not destroy the balance between them through excess. He who perseveres in them will be helped in other ways as well, but he who is slack and negligent will suffer intolerably on leaving this life. A self-indulgent heart becomes a prison and chain for the soul when it leaves this life, whereas an assiduous heart is an open door. The iron gate that leads into the city is a hard heart. Acts chapter 12, verse 10. But to one who suffers hardship and affliction, the gate will open of its own accord, as it did to Peter. There are many differing methods of prayer. No method is harmful. If it were, it would be not prayer, but the activity of Satan. A man wanted to do evil, but first prayed as usual, and finding himself prevented by God, he was then extremely thankful. When David wanted to kill Nabal the Carmelite, but was reminded of the divine retribution and abandoned his intention, he was extremely thankful. Again, we know what he did when he forgot God, and how he did not stop until Nathan the prophet reminded him. 1 Samuel chapter 25, 2 Samuel chapter 12. At the times when you remember God, increase your prayers, so that when you forget him, the Lord may remind you. When you read Holy Scripture, perceive its hidden meanings, for whatever was written in past times was written for our instruction. Romans chapter 15, verse 4. Scripture speaks of faith as the substance of things hoped for, Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1, and describes as worthless those who do not know the indwelling of Jesus. 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5. Just as a thought is made manifest through actions and words, so is our future reward through the impulses of the heart. Thus, a merciful heart will receive mercy, while a merciless heart will receive the opposite. The law of freedom teaches the whole truth. Many read about it in a theoretical way, but few really understand it, and these only can agree in the degree to which they practice the commandments. Do not seek the perfection of this law in human virtue, for it is not found perfect in them. Its perfection is hidden in the cross of Christ. The law of freedom is studied by means of true knowledge. It is understood through the practice of the commandments, and is fulfilled through the mercy of Christ. When we are compelled by our conscience to accomplish all the commandments of God, and we shall understand that the law of the Lord is faultless. Psalms chapter 19, verse 8. It is performed through our good actions, but cannot be perfected by men without God's mercy. Those who do not consider themselves under obligation to perform all Christ's commandments study the law of God in a literal manner, understanding neither what they say nor what they affirm. 1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. Therefore they think that they can fulfill it by their own works.